Skip this and it could be over. See, that's a warning. This ain't just some video that you stumble on and scroll past. No, this is your life that we are talking about. One move, that's all it takes to ruin everything you've been praying for. It takes one decision made in a moment of anger and desperation, heartbreak, ego, or straight up ignorance can cost you years. Let me talk to the ones who don't like to think first. The ones who always move off of impulse. Texting her back when you know she toxic. Rolling up on somebody just cause they disrespected you. Quitting that job just cause you ain't feel like showing up one more day. Sleeping with somebody just to numb the pain for one night or two. You think that's strength? No, that's how you lose. That's how people end up in jail. That's how people get clapped. That's how people go broke, stuck, bitter, alone, or dead, all cause you didn't pause. You didn't stop to think. You ain't considered a cost. You were so focused on what you felt in the moment, you didn't even care about what was coming after it. Listen, your emotions are valid, but they are not wise. They can't see consequences. They just see the heat of the moment, see? And you keep obeying your feelings like they God, but they not. That's why you keep digging a deeper hole for yourself, see? God gave you a mind, a spirit, a moment called wait. See, don't tell me you didn't have the time. You did. You just didn't want to listen to the better judgment because the revenge felt better. The release, that felt better. The ego felt better. But what you feel better about now, you might have to pay for later. Look at the prisons. Look at the graveyards. Look at the rehab centers. Look at the broken homes. Look at the men who would have given up everything to rewind the 10 seconds before they pulled the trigger. Look at the woman who would have given anything to unspeak that sentence, to untrust that man, to unsend that message, to unlay down in that bed. See, you want to know why God gives us conviction? Because he's trying to stop you before you ruin you. And that's the problem with this generation. We don't like to slow down. We just want to feel something, even if it's pain, even if it's destruction. And that's why some of y'all keep on going through the same cycle and gonna keep on going through the same cycle because you never stop to think before you act. You keep skipping the pause. You skip that reflection. You skip the prayer. You skip the wisdom. And if you keep skipping the very things that's meant to save your life, it's over for you. I promise you that. See, you might be still breathing, but your peace will be dead. Your purpose will be dead. Your potential will be locked up in a cage of regret. See, ain't no blessing waiting on the other side of reckless. And I ain't talking to the perfect ones. I'm talking to the real ones. The ones who know what it feels like to be one step from throwing it all away. See, I've been there. Mad enough to make a call that would have landed me in a casket or a courtroom. Heartbroken enough to call somebody back I had no business revisiting. Broke enough to say yes to the things I knew were beneath me. See, I've sat on the edge of some choices that could have flipped my whole life upside down, but God whispered, breathe. He didn't yell. He didn't embarrass me. He just gave me a second to breathe. And in that second, I saved my future, see? Some of y'all don't need a miracle. You just need a moment of pause. You don't need revenge. You need reflection. You don't need to clap back. You need to call on God. You don't need to make a move. You need to move your pride out the way and realize you are one step away from either your breakthrough or breakdown. And the difference is thinking. Proverbs 14 verses 29 says, whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has a hasty temper exalts folly. See, that's that Bible talk for you. If you move too fast, you're going to look stupid. That's not me judging you. That's the word. And some of y'all don't need new advice. You already know what to do. You just don't want to obey it. You want the reward, but not the responsibility. You want the peace, but you don't want to let go of the chaos. You want healing, but you don't want to stop touching what keeps cutting you. You want a future, but you keep flirting with your past. Let me be blunt for a little bit. If you keep skipping the work, the reflection, the discipline, the hard conversations with yourself, then yes, of course, it's over for you. Over for your growth, over for your elevation, over for your next season. God ain't gonna bless a version that you keep blowing it every time it gets hard. You gotta sit in the temptation and not move. You gotta learn how to feel the pain without trying to fix it with self-destruction. You gotta breathe when everything in you wants to swing. It wants to text, it wants to call, it wants to cuss, quit, cry, or crash out. You gotta remember, some moves are permanent. You don't get a do-over. You don't get a rewind. That DM could cost you your relationship. That fight could cost you your freedom. That party could cost you your life. That secret link up could cost you your whole peace. You tired of being in survival mode? Then stop making survival decisions. You ain't built for temporary. You built for legacy. You built for impact. You built for something that's actually higher. But you'll never touch it if you don't master the pause. So next time you feel triggered, I want you to hear this voice. This is your pain pal speaking. This is your second chance disguised as a speech. This is your warning shot before the consequences actually land. Stop skipping the pause. Stop skipping the wisdom. Stop skipping the conviction. Stop skipping God. Or skip this, and it's over for you, my friend. We have to think. We have to think. We have to think, or it can cost us our life. I remember when I was about 19 years old. I was about 19 years old, and I used to go to this community college called Antelope Valley College. Some of y'all may know where that's at. And across the street, there was this park called Raleigh Dudley Park. We used to always go there and hoop. And me and my boys, it was me, my guy Virgilio, my boy Chris, and my boy Ant, and my boy Tyler, right? And we used to go there and we used to dominate. We used to dominate, not to toot my own horn, because we had me. They used to call me Baby Brian. You know, I used to be dunking on them, I used to be doing all kind of crazy stuff. And you know, anybody who knows when you hoop and you really good, not to toot my own horn, but if you're really good, they gonna start fouling you, just like they do Shaq, or just like they do LeBron. So they start fouling me a lot, you know, because tension gets high and everybody wants to win the game. So they start fouling the best player. I'm just going to say it, right? And I was calling a lot of fouls because I was getting frustrated. Hey, bro, that's foul. Foul, bro. Man, give me the ball. And one of the guys there, he was always there. He was a little hothead. He was about 26 years old. I'm 19 at the time. I call a foul. He comes to me and he gets in my face. He gets in my face, and I'm like down on my knees, like, you know how like when you like on your knees, like kind of like, I'm looking at the camera. I never really do that. When you like down on your knees and you like catching your wind. So I call a foul. He pulled up on me and he decided to say, "Man, you a beef for calling that foul." All up in my space. And I'm like this, and I look up. And I rise up. I was a hothead back then. Remember, I was a hothead. I rise up and I grab him by his neck. "What you call me?" I was like, "Man, you a beef for fouling me." And I yanked him. No lie. I'm not lying on this story. When I pushed him, now he's 26, a little shorter. I'm a little taller, you know, I'm 6'3". When I pushed him, I kid you not, all I heard, I didn't know. I didn't think. All I heard was, "Kill him." I'm looking around like, kill him? Boom, next thing you know, I'm in a chokehold. I didn't know that everybody in this park was basically his family. It was me and my boys, but it was about 11 of them. Thugs too. But remember, I thought I was the man, you know what I'm saying? I'm a hothead. I'm in a chokehold. My girlfriend was even there at the time. I'm in a chokehold. All I heard was kill him. His dad had me in a chokehold. Kimbo Slice looking type dude. Had me in a chokehold. Now they all just bombing on me. Bing, 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 bing. I couldn't do nothing. I'm in a chokehold. I remember they was trying to get me down on the ground. They was pulling my leg. I just remember they was pulling my leg because they wanted me on that ground. And I remember this one dude, white dude, they had a white homie. White dude came up on me. Bing, bop. knocked me in my eye, bro. I'm like, oh my God, while I'm still in a chokehold. Now, all this happened in a matter of about 3 minutes. Boom, knocked me in my eye. That's the first time I ever seen a flash. It was like a little, like, you know, when somebody take a picture, it was like, oh, I was like, oh, snap. And I remember, it was so vivid to me. I remember he was coming back for another one. And in my head, I was like, this is the first time I'm about to feel how it feels to be knocked out. I'm about to go night-night. He was coming, and my girlfriend out of nowhere came and stopped that hand. I was like, oh my God. I was about to, she saved me. Now, I know I'm yapping, but let me get to it. Let me get to it. Now, she saved me, but they were still bombing all on me while I'm still in the chokehold. Dad wanted to put my lights out. Now, remember, these dudes are like thuggish type dudes. My boys avenging me. Well, most of them. One of my boys, I ain't gonna say who, he, help. I'm like, bro, I'm getting choked. I'm like, bro, avenge me, dude. Like, come on, get in there. Don't just, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, like, don't just yell, help. I need you. I'm about to die. Like, my boy Ant was knocking him and stuff. I'm looking over. I'm proud and stuff. Now, as I'm doing this, they eventually get me on the ground. I get on the ground, but I hurry up and I get up. Everybody now kind of like squaring up. What's up with the next move? My boy Ant decides to say, all right, I'll be right back. They say, oh, it's time to go to the trunk. I look at my boy Ant. What you say that for? We dead because of you now. They start walking to the trunk so fast. I'm scared I'm like, anybody who know, like, if you from there, you know what they going to the trunk for. Pew pew. And thanks, Aunt. We don't. What you gonna go back for? We ain't got nothing. We dead. So we looking. We kind of like, oh They had this yellow Hummer, I remember. And they go to the trunk, and I don't know what happened, but the dad, I think, it just knocked some sense. I do know what happened. It was God. And knocked some sense into old boy, the dad. He came up to me. He was like, man, I'm so sorry, dude. Like, if I go to jail one more time, I'm in for good. Like, I'm so sorry. If you need, he shook my hand as my eye all black. I didn't even know my eye was black. I just felt, I knew I was done for. He said, you need anything in the hood, man, I got you, bro. I'm just like, yeah, all right. Never wanted to see them again. Never wanted to see them again. But the point of that whole story was, and I used to do this type of stuff like that a lot because I was a hothead. I didn't think that literally, if something didn't snap into dad, that literally could have cost me his life. And I know they had it on them. I know, like, these one of them dudes, you know they have it on them. And if you don't, you know what I'm talking about, what they have on. Pew, pew. You know it. That could have cost me my whole life just because I was so angry and quick to action. I was quick to action to grab his son, which was older than me, which he should have been defending himself. You know what I'm saying? He's 26, I'm 19. But because I was angry and I grabbed him by his neck and threw him, I didn't know that could have cost me my life. It was the biggest lesson I ever had. After that, I was an angel in the court. Still aggressive. I was still dunking on him and stuff. But, you know, I'm chilling now. I'm like, it's really not worth it. And that can go with you guys with a lot of things in your life. You say you got a woman, and y'all know how sometimes it can get when you arguing. You arguing with your woman. Now, I know I'm yapping right now, but stay with me. You arguing with your woman. You know how it can get sometimes. Think about your life. Think about your future. Especially if you got kids, think about your kids. Don't make no stupid decisions. Pray about it. Ask God for wisdom in that situation. And I know it's hard because temper is at an all-time high, but think about it. It can save your life. I got saved. My life All of us got saved by the grace of God, but I was doomed. But man, I'm yapping right now. But that was just a story that I'd never forget. You know, that was the first time I felt like I was jumped by like 9 dudes. Just being, my friend over there, help, bro, help, get in it. You're gonna have some words. If we make it out alive, I'm gonna have some words for you. All me and the fellas, we all gonna have some words for you. You may not be able to come around no more. I'm yapping on y'all. Handle your business. Till next time, peace.